Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Just a really quick note. Due to racism and slavery, the direction south has been canceled.
Is that right?
All southbound routes will be blocked off and dug up. All southbound roads will be destroyed. From now on, if you want to travel south, you got to just keep going north until you've circled around the globe and you come back up the other side.
That seems mildly inconvenient.
Yeah, if you think that's too difficult, why do you hate black people?
Well, no, I don't hate.
Why are you such a racist?
I just don't want to.
Then shut up.
Don't want to
shut.
Drive. My goodness, that's
It's coming.
That is.
It's coming because the South is hateful, and so we can't go south anymore. Yeah. So there you go.
There you go.
And again, if you don't like it, I don't know why you hate so much. I don't know why you're such a hate monger, a hating hate monger that hates.
It hates.
That yes, hates. I mean,
that's where we're at, man.
Things are important. We've had this happen in our country.
And Barack knows that we are going to have to make sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to have to change our conversation.
Right.
We're going to have to change our traditions, our history. We're going to have to move into a different place.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're there.
Yeah, right now, leftists are changing our traditions, are changing our history. And it's happening right before our eyes. They've already successfully rewritten history to show Democrats as the freedom fighters for and the heroes of black Americans. And when nothing could be further from in fact, the opposite is true. Democrats were the ones who fought to keep slavery. It took the lives of 600,000 Americans to finally put an end to that evil. Democrats created Jim Crow laws. Democrats believed in segregation. Republicans fought for integration and eventually achieved it, including in the military. It was a Democrat, Woodrow Wilson, who resegregated the military. Democrat progressives championed eugenics. I'm going to remind people of this at least once a week. They set out to wipe out blacks and others they considered defective by creating the abortion mill Planned Parenthood, which has pretty successfully accomplished a lot of what its founder, Margaret Sanger, set out to do. 16 million black babies have been murdered since 1973. 16 million. It was Democrats who fought the civil rights movement. It was racist Democrat governors like George Wallace who caused so much trouble in the 60s and 70s. And it was Democrats who have created the welfare state to keep minorities dependent on the government for their entire lives. It was Republicans who were the ones who undid all of that hate and damage. So they have successfully changed our history. And in the process, they've used the Bible, twisting scripture to try to fit their agenda, bashing those who are on the right, who even mention scripture ever, while selectively manipulating their base with it when it fits their purpose. Nancy Pelosi is a good example of somebody who does that all the time. They take advantage of every single tragic event that happens in this country. They're never letting a good crisis go to waste. Every time there's a shooting, gun control. Every time a police officer kills a black person, Black Lives Matter. But they don't matter to these evil manipulators any other time. And we've cited the continual murders of blacks at the hands of other blacks in Chicago, Baltimore, Detroit, St. Louis, all over the country as proof. And now they're telling us even that violent protest is fine, even encouraged in order to achieve their goals. Looting is fine, even encouraged in order to achieve their goals. Do we have the montage of what the leftists have said about the protests just to go back to work? We wanted to go back to work. That was evil. That was wrong.
Right. Lockdown protests were the worst thing possible.
And
and a far more serious scene. Watch these images. Really just an ugly, a dangerous scene at the state capitol in Michigan.
Pause it for a second.
Look at this.
Okay, that's ugly and it's dangerous.
Talk about an Overton window.
Ugly and dangerous. They're all standing around. Nobody's doing anything. All right, let's see the rest of this.
Group of people.
Those pictures and those clashes really show the chaos.
And you're out there with guns?
I don't want to call them rallies. They're not protests.
These quote-unquote protests, I don't even think that that's the right word, because protests are supposed to be peaceful.
I'm not embarrassed to say that I was afraid.
It's not clear what they're demanding to infect other people, demanding to make other people sick.
It's dangerous, and these people can take this home with them and hurt their families and all the rest.
I'd like to ask them if they're willing to sign away their right to treatment if and when they get infected.
Who the hell do you think you are? I don't understand what is wrong with people. Stay at home.
Huh. 1 month later.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not, generally speaking, unruly.
Amazing.
That ain't a riot, what we're seeing right now in Minneapolis.
Any reasonable person would say we shouldn't be destroying other people's property, but these are not reasonable times.
And please, show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
The beautiful thing is we're seeing citizens who are caring and concerned. They're hitting the streets.
Heartwarming to see so many people turn
Not
out
dangerous
peacefully.
anymore. It's heartwarming
I
now.
think this is a march, really. But as they're coming off, it's peaceful. They're saying peaceful protest.
Across the country, it's bringing people together, community with unity.
People are risking COVID
I can't even believe
to
it.
explain to this country that we're fed up.
Okay. All right. Wow. Jeez. I mean, the same people with the opposite opinion now. Okay. All right. And now guess what?
What?
We're starting to have spikes in 21 states over COVID-19. The new cases are spiking and the deaths are spiking. Huh. I wonder why. What could have happened in the meantime? Because it was calming down. And then, oh, wait, yeah, the thousands of people gathered in the streets every night. That's weird.
Well, you know whose fault that is, right?
Whitey McWhiteface?
Pretty close enough.
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
Well,
okay.
Who is, in fact, a Whitey
And that's what they'll say.
Yes.
Donald Trump didn't take it seriously. He wanted to lift the lockdown early.
Yeah.
This is why you can't.
Yeah, they won't mention
They won't even mention that there were riots in the streets and people literally shoulder to shoulder in our city streets.
Not only that, Antifa is overrunning parts of the city of Seattle, Washington right now.
Oh, yeah.
This is really frightening. There's a 6-block area right now that they're claiming is a Capitol Hill autonomous zone. What was it yesterday when Jeffy said, we're going to have warlords?
We have warlords running
That's
parts
essentially
of the country.
already happened. They drove police out of that precinct, and now it's occupied by these armed thugs. I mean, I don't know if they're white or black. It doesn't matter. They're patrolling the streets, and they're enforcing their law. And they're saying that when you enter that 6-block Capitol Hill autonomous zone, you've left the United States.
Yeah. Wait, did you say that they're armed?
Yeah.
What? Wait, I thought guns were...
I know. That's what I thought, too. That's exactly what I thought.
And they've set up barricades, so they have borders.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The newly formed zone is patrolled by armed members of the Puget Sound John Brown Club, which announced on Twitter that it's following the leadership of black voices on the ground for some security work, watching for threats such as, of course, armed white supremacists. Now, the armed black supremacists, those are fine.
They're fine.
Roaming the streets. In fact, those are the ones in charge. But I guess white supremacists will be shot down. Amid the insurgent collective's effort to control the territory, an individual named Raz Simone has taken it upon himself to become the area's new resident warlord.
All right, Raz.
Yeah, Raz.
Congratulations. You made it, man.
He's the man. Raz is the man.
Oh.
In a video posted on Reddit, Simone and his crew can be seen assaulting a man for tagging over someone else's graffiti. They were pissed. Not that there was graffiti, but he was tagging over graffiti that was already there. You don't want double graffiti on any buildings, you know. Raz and his crew allegedly approached and separated the man from a crowd, chased him for several blocks before filming a portion of the attack against him. One commenter described him and his crew as self-appointed, heavily armed. They've indicated their intention to police the area and have engaged in the use of force.
Wait, they've indicated they're going to do what with the area?
They're going to police the area.
Why do we have police? I don't understand. Why does the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone get a police force?
Right, isn't that what they were looking not to have? I know.
So confused.
We're going to be police free.
Do we have the tweets from one of the ladies that's inside the autonomous Capitol Hill zone, where she's saying how, look at this, the homeless people we invited took away all the food at the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. We need more food to keep the area operational. Please, if possible, bring vegan meat substitutes.
Fruits, oats, soy products, anything to help us eat.
Help us eat. What else you got there? The homeless people. Let's see.
Wealth redistributed.
Good point by Stephen Miller. Is there another one that was sent over? I don't know. She had another tweet where, I don't know. Anyway, but basically talking about, hey, we're armed. We're ready. I mean, we'll defend. Here we go. Let's see. Folks with firearms, take shifts. Defend the barricades. We're getting organized. The first thing they do is establish a border that is patrolled with a police force, and they're heavily armed.
Yeah.
But send some vegan meat substitutes, please.
Meet the new boss.
Yeah.
Same as the old boss.
Right. Look at that, man. It's got its own little map. I know you can't.
Except worse.
Yeah.
This new boss is going to be worse. I guarantee you that.
I
guarantee you that.
And look at that. They've taken over a park. See that map? They got a map there.
They'll be screaming about it in a matter of days. They'll be screaming about how these people are not doing what they want them to do. Or they can't do what they want to do because Raz is not allowing it.
Yeah, Raz.
Yeah, so, well, good. That's great.
Well, Seattle, Portland, you're next.
Welcome to it, Seattle.
You know, this is, you let them fester long enough and don't crack down, then they end up taking over part of your city.
It's amazing. That is really frightening.
It is. And this is the 2020, man. The year that just keeps on giving.
Really frightening. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Just to sort of juxtapose that with a little good news. Remember the homeless man that they burned his mattress?
Oh, in Austin, yes.
They took his stuff.
Yes.
Somebody picked up some big box and started beating him with it. I mean, it was really uncool. Really horrible.
Look at that. Look at that. There's his mattress.
Oh, there's his mattress going into the fire.
That's his entire life being destroyed by these punks. Oh, I just hate to see that. Look how he's in such distress. What are you doing? I live here, man.
I live here. What are you doing? What the are you doing?
Heartbreaking.
Really sad. Well, some good people have replaced his belongings. That's really cool.
They brought me to the tent, a new mattress.
Look at that.
An air mattress. They brought me food. They brought me clothes, money. You can testify to that. Thank you, Austin. I love you, Austin. You're the best.
Look, it's like a new home tour.
No hard feelings at all. It's a bad place at a bad time.
God bless, man. It's so cool.
That is good. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Man.
No hard feelings. Good. Yeah,
but he got a nice, he's living the life now. Air mattress. That was a new tent. I just hope nobody gives him trouble and tries to take some of that awesome stuff. Seriously.
Yeah, or set it on fire again. Just wait till the next uprising.
Oh, it's Austin. It'll probably be
next insurgency.
This weekend?
Probably.
But thanks for that. Thanks for the good news.
Yeah.
You weren't kidding when you said you had some good news.
No. Yeah, there's...
I thought you
No, actual good news there.
Good.
Just,
we need some.
For a little relief.
We need some.
Yeah. The constant barrage is really difficult to take.
Yes, it is.
Even though the country's opening up again, some of us are a little leery about being in confined spaces with the public. If you're looking for a great idea for Father's Day that's safe and COVID-free, consider iTarget Pro. This is one of the coolest ways to dry fire train with your gun at home using their proprietary app and a laser bullet. It's really convenient, it's completely safe, and it's going to save you a ton of money on ammo. Dry fire training develops muscle memory, helps with target reaction, sight alignment. It's really a good way to go. iTarget Pro comes in all the major calibers, including .223 and .556, so you can stay sharp with pretty much any firearm. And for Father's Day, get 10% off plus free shipping when you use the offer code PAT. Don't let circumstances dictate whether you're going to train or not. Take back control with iTarget Pro. That's the letter I, then targetpro.com. iTargetPro.com, offer code PAT.
Pat Gray, Unleashed.
I got this tweet from a black woman, Dr. Shea, who says, black woman moved to America, earned an MS degree, started a business, bought 2 homes, returned to school, completed a doctorate, driving a vehicle, now 2 children becoming MDs. You say America isn't great? Feed that bull to someone who doesn't know otherwise.
That was a tweet that was getting a lot of traction yesterday.
Really good stuff.
I love that.
Really good stuff. Then we got the video of this black man giving a brief history of the Democrat Party, as we kind of just did, but just to reinforce it, let's listen to...
The Democrat Party is not just immediately racist here in the present day. They've been racist their entire existence.
Right.
Back in 1856, a Republican senator by the name of Charles Sumner was bludgeoned half to death by a Democrat Congressman, Preston Brooks, on the Senate floor because 2 days prior he was making an anti-slavery speech. Imagine that. On the Senate floor, Republicans getting beaten half to death for trying to end slavery. And then you look at all the other things that the Democrats have pushed throughout the years. 1861, the Democrats refused to show up to Abraham Lincoln's inauguration because Abraham Lincoln had the audacity to want to end slavery. You have Democrats forming the KKK. You have Democrats pushing Jim Crow laws. And in the 40s, you have Democrats pushing redlining, locking black people out of building generational wealth in their district. It's over the past century.
Wonder if he's a listener to the Glenn Beck program.
Yeah.
That's the only other place I've ever heard the mention of the little Senate Sumter and
Brooks. Yeah,
Brooks.
I will say that in Brad Meltzer's latest book on Lincoln, that scene is painted vividly. The details of it are just horrendous.
Where he gets beaten with the cane?
On the floor of the U.S. Senate, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine. And the guy was never charged with it. Never charged.
Yeah.
Nobody ever paid for that. The guy was, he was so badly injured. Took him either 2 or 3 years to get back into the Senate. And even then, he was never quite right again.
No.
Just an amazing story where, can you imagine somebody walking into the Senate chamber and beating somebody almost to death with a cane and nothing's done about it? He was pissed. What are you going to do?
And you always think of moments like that from our history where you're like, okay, well, we're not beating each other to death at the Senate yet. So, it's not that bad yet, right?
It's been worse.
Sure.
So, yeah, we don't have a civil war, at least not an active shooting war yet.
Declared.
600,000 Americans haven't died at the hands of each other yet. So, must be better than it was.
All right, so we got that going for us.
Yeah, that's what we got to take our victories where we can get them.
No kidding.
And there's a couple right there.
All right.
Nobody's been beaten to death in the Senate chamber, and we don't have an active civil war, shooting war right now.
All right. So look, there's the good news for the day.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a coworker or a family member that says, "Boy, things are bad right now in America. I'm scared." Just say, "Hey,
been worse.
We haven't been bludgeoning each other on the floor of the Senate yet.
Yeah.
So that's good." Look, we gotta take our victories, like you said, where we can find them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, 2020.
I mean, just unbelievable. In the cancel culture, I'm loving right now.
Are you?
Yeah,
You're
I'm
loving
really loving it. I'm loving it because
you're loving it.
Gone with the Wind. I mean, who would have thought that Gone with the Wind would ever just be pulled and blacklisted?
Right. Well, and you had a pathead who basically said, this is akin to book burning when
yes,
you can't access a movie.
Right.
And here we are.
So Americans rushed to grab up the physical copies of the movie after HBO Max announced it was blacklisting the film from its streaming platform. It was the #1 bestseller on Amazon early yesterday morning, even though both DVD and Blu-ray discs were sold out. And HBO Max spokesman said the film was pulled because of ethnic and racial prejudices that were counter to Warner Media's values. It's the biggest movie of all time.
And it's called history, man.
Right. History.
Wait a minute.
Unbelievable.
And I'm not kidding. I'm not saying this as a joke. When do they pull Charlton Heston's 10 Commandments? Seriously, God, I don't know. There would be some twisted justification on how it makes people uncomfortable, or we don't want to talk about plagues of locusts and stuff. And it's dangerous, dude.
The depictions of anti-Semitism. I mean, they had the Jews in bondage for 400 years. You don't want to look at that. Nobody wants to see that.
We are in a dangerous place, man.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, it's so ridiculous right now that 6 city blocks of Seattle have been taken over by, I don't know, some insurgent group.
Yeah, but it's not like a full, miles worth, right? That'd be 12 city blocks, right?
I don't know. I don't know how big the city blocks are in Seattle.
Yeah, I think
in Utah, in Salt Lake City, that'd be a mile.
I'm looking for good news. Remember, it could be worse. I mean, they could have the city itself. They just have a part of it.
Yeah, they could have the whole city. It's amazing. There's a TV show that was on years ago called The 4400.
Oh yeah. Do
you remember this?
You tried to get. I
loved it.
I wanted to see it, but I never got around to watching it. I just remembered now when you said it.
It's on Netflix now, but you don't have Netflix. That's right. Jeez. But somebody without Netflix is just hard to comprehend.
But I do have Disney Plus, and last night
congratulations.
The family and I watched season 4, episode 21 of The Simpsons. Which, if you haven't seen it, it's called Marge in Chains, and there is a flu that comes over here from Asia, which we've discussed. Right? Bees get out. They're turned loose on a city. There are riots in the streets.
Okay.
I mean, it is literally today.
Wow.
So the only thing left is Marge Simpson being behind bars.
And in the later episodes of 4400, some of the 4400 take over Seattle and barricade themselves in that area and rename the city, and they take control of it.
They call it Capitol Hill?
Just
Autonomous Zone?
I don't think they call it the Capitol Hill. I'll have to look.
How many
and see
seasons
what they
was
call
the
it.
4400?
4 or 5, probably. So, it's reality imitating art, right?
Yeah.
It's
strange
amazing.
Strange times.
Really strange times.
Is it? We used to make fun of. I don't know, make fun of, but just mock, I guess, to a degree. Come on, Paris, what's your problem? You've got no-go zones where the police aren't allowed to go. Well, hello, America.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they chased the police out of their precinct. Police are not there, and they're demanding They're demanding in Seattle that the mayor of Seattle step down because she has not yet condoned their actions and shut down the police elsewhere, I guess. I mean, it's just unbelievable. You can't even believe this is the United States of America.
I mean, seriously, are we at the point where there are parts of this country that are ungovernable? Because is that...
I mean, unless we're going to have to, exercise authority here.
Somebody pointed out on Twitter, you know what, look, if they're not part of the U.S. anymore, just drop a nuke on them. Okay, well, I mean...
Might hurt parts of the U.S.
Sure, but I mean, it's a targeted nuke. Maybe that's what he meant.
A tactical one.
Tactical, there it is, yeah. You can just clean up the town right there and start over. I'm not recommending that. I'm saying that's what the guy said.
Eventually, if this continues, you're going to have to send in the National Guard to restore order. Or more. Or, the Marines. I don't know. Posse comitatus! Posse comitatus! We'll start hearing that, too. But when these kinds of things are going on, and if the National Guard isn't sufficient to take care of it, and so far they haven't, so...
What are the odds President Trump speaks about this today? Or
I hope he does.
I wonder if he's tweeted about it yet.
I hope he does.
How many exclamation marks do you think it earns? Talking about city blocks being taken over.
It's nuts. It's nuts. And he'll probably say, if they don't handle it in Washington, I will.
Oh, here we go.
Is he talking
7 hours ago, domestic terrorists have taken over Seattle, run by radical left Democrats, of course.
Good.
Law and order, exclamation mark. All caps on that.
Just one? Exclamation mark, though?
Yeah, just one.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and he had some black leaders up there at the White House yesterday, and there's this one guy. I don't know if we've got the video,
Is this
right?
Raymond Jackson?
Yes, this is good stuff.
Telling the world, well, listen. The video of black businessman Raymond Jackson.
Raynard Jackson.
Raynard? Okay, Raynard.
Oh.
Raynard
We're
Jackson.
small business, just like
no,
everyone
that's
else.
not it. You can kill it. That's not it.
That's not Raynard.
They were like, I don't see Raynard or Raymond on the show sheet. So anyway, I'm glad I set that up. Anyway, so he did what Trump should be doing every day, and maybe we'll get this later. But he is explaining all of the great things that Trump has done for the black community. He needs to be
My name is Reginald Jackson. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Daryl, for inviting us to this roundtable here. I'm from St. Louis originally, live here in Virginia. If you want to know the truth, if you want us to dissect the Obama economy, let's do it. And I think, Mr. President, your record will win the debate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And it's interesting you say that, but you go down a list of criminal justice reform and all of the things we've done, opportunity zones, the best unemployment rate in the history, just before the plague came in. And it's going to be back again soon. I think it's going to be back again a lot sooner than people think.
Okay. That's great stuff.
He needs to be doing that.
That's good stuff.
What he just said there, he needs to stop waiting to be set up to say that stuff. He needs to be shouting it. Because right now, that's the message the black community needs to hear.
We need people like Raynard to be speaking out on network television or cable television on a regular basis, so you can hear it from black business people. It's really critical. All right, 888-933-93 and at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Made in 1971 tweets. Seattle reminds me of Lord of the Flies. From Republic Mike. Wait a second. This autonomous zone has border control? Social distancing ghost tweets. How soon until Blazing Saddles is removed from all airwaves? Oh, I can't believe it hasn't happened already, quite frankly.
No joke.
That is really politically incorrect. Eric's rant, Gone with the Wind is too racist to see, but Django Unchained is good family entertainment?
Wow.
Weird. Yeah. Really good point. I mean, I haven't seen Django Unchained, but I've heard.
I know enough.
I've heard.
And we're not saying take that one off. We're saying put Gone with the Wind back on.
Yes. It's asinine what's going on right now. In this cancel culture, the cancel and fire culture. I've got a list of people here who've been fired already. What an extensive list. And this isn't even everybody. But Greg Glassman, the founder and CEO of CrossFit, of course, because he had the nerve to say, we're not mourning for George Floyd. I don't think any of me or any of my staff are. Can you tell me why I should mourn for him? Other than that's the white thing to do? Other than that, give me another reason. Okay, that's not sensitive, right? It's not nice. But should he lose his job over it? Remember, the only kind of speech that needs to be protected is speech that makes us uncomfortable or we don't like. It's really easy to have free speech when it's speech everybody agrees with. Wendy Melsley, the host of The Weekly with Wendy Melsley on the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, she was fired. In the context of, she said, in the context of an editorial discussion about current issues regarding race, I used a word that should never be used. It was not aimed at anyone. I was quoting a journalist we were intending to interview. Okay, so if you just utter the word, it doesn't matter the context. I guess, it's like again, for the third straight day, I'm talking about the godless animals and their coach, Morgan Scally. We don't even know the context he used, and he's suspended for who knows how long, and they'll probably be fired. I can't imagine that they're going to bring him back now. The context is important. If you're not calling someone that, if you're not using it to insult and degrade someone, I don't know. It's just madness. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Adam Rappaport, editor-in-chief of Bon Appetit. I don't even understand the explanation here. Something about Puerto Rican food and his wife calling him Poppy. I have no idea. I don't know what the deal is there. Christine Barberich, top editor and co-founder of Refinery 29, fired. And these are like liberal outlets, many of them. Hartley Sawyer, who is an actor in The Flash. I don't watch The Flash, but I guess he plays Elongated Man on The Flash. These were for tweets that he posted in 2012. And so, yeah, and they're stupid and they're weird tweets. They happened 8 years ago. He's grown since then. Doesn't matter. Bye-bye. James Bennett, the editorial page editor of the New York Times, was fired for saying, send in the troops. An overwhelming show of force to disperse, detain, and ultimately deter lawbreakers. That's what he said. That's what he said.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Is this, more overwhelming force to stop lawbreakers?
Well, the headline was send in the troops. And you don't want to send in the troops on these peaceful, wonderful protesters. Am I right? I mean, they're out protesting a worthy cause. So you dare not send in the troops and try to disperse or detain or deter them? We've been told they have a right to the stuff that they're taking out of stores. Would they have a right to break the windows and destroy these businesses? What's the matter with you, Keith? What are you, some sort of hater? Some sort of racist, hateful hate monger who hates? Is that what you are?
I'm going to attempt right now to tap into my inner Phil Jackson and
inner Phil Jackson.
Stay calm. Yeah. Keep calm and read the news.
So you're going to just stay Zen Buddhist. Okay. Then the top editor of the Philadelphia Inquirer fired for writing about buildings mattering. And what he was saying there was, it matters these people's businesses too. Can we not forget that their businesses matter?
Yeah.
Fired for it. Fired. They asked him to write the column. They said, hey, can you write something about the looting going on? He did. They fired him for it.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if we'll get to it. I mean, these are minority-owned businesses,
right,
being destroyed, lives being destroyed.
Right. Yep.
I mean, these couple of young guys, minority guys, and they have a shoe store, and they take us on a tour of their shoe store. There's not one item left in it.
Do we still have that video?
Yeah, that's what started to play there, guys.
We're a small business, just like everyone else. We're a very bunch of cool guys.
Oh, they're cool. See,
Minorities.
Cool kicks.
Cool minorities, man.
I've seen these guys before.
The video we made.
Now,
I've seen these guys
look
before.
At this.
They had a great shoe business. Look at this.
I mean, there's
oh my gosh.
devastation. Nothing but empty shoe boxes in this nice store, the big store. Cool kicks.
Wow. Oh man.
And they just take us through there, and that's the back.
But we had to do a lot of cleaning because we didn't want any continuous looting, and we didn't want it. Basically, who knows, man? Somebody would have came back and set all those boxes on fire. We lose this beautiful location, and also harm the businesses next to us. So
yeah,
this was one of our storage rooms.
Look at this.
We had inventory stacked up there. We took one of the woods.
They took everything.
They took a plank of wood.
We had tons of shelving here. This was hard to walk through before. This was full of boxes, shoes, thousands of pairs of shoes. Literally, crazy sneakers from ground
These
up.
guys have all kinds of custom
We
made,
don't really tend to shoot too many
like expensive shoes.
We're just so busy. We live closer to the Hollywood area, but
Look at this,
for everyone that
man.
knows
Room
this
after
last
room after
we had
room.
all sneakers right here. All this was Yeezys. Still maybe some black
Yeezys.
Room
all this
full
was
of
Yeezy. All this was off white. Cleaned it up a lot, but it's still dirty.
Now we're going to go to the
Check
front.
it out, man.
Watch this. That was the back.
Smoking glass cases. And
This is heartbreaking. Really heartbreaking.
It is depressing. Look at that wall of shoe spots.
Gone. All of it gone.
Broken glass case.
Entire inventory.
Look at that. We had.
Why do they have to smash up the business?
All that was flooded right there.
Wow.
All of it was gone. We were prepared for the summer. Post-COVID, we was getting ready for you guys. Businesses were about to open back up, and now we're back to square one, ground zero.
My gosh. That's heartbreaking. That's black businessmen. Are you proud of yourselves? Seriously, that it's despicable. It's I've never seen anything like this. America's never seen anything like this.
Yeah, how many times?
This kind of chaos.
How many times did we say that? Right.
Wow.
So like we started this show.
Yeah.
Part of an American city has been taken over
by thugs.
Man, we've never seen that. Wow, riots destroying business after business and city after city. Not just
Never
one
seen
city.
that.
Yeah, never seen that.
And not just that. The worst part of it is the attitude of the Democrats and the left. Like, you shouldn't be even complaining about it. What are you complaining about it for? What? What? How dare you complain about them looting? Well, yeah, those are people who have businesses. We're not talking about billionaires here. We're talking about black business owners trying to make a living. That's a bad thing to say, hey, don't loot their business and destroy it, please. It's amazing. It's amazing.
It's going to be interesting to see to what degree not only the national economy rebounds after the virus, but these cities. How are they going to recover after the virus and the looting? This could drastically change the landscape of America.
Yeah.
I mean, are you going to want to open a business? I mean, we've got story after story after story of businesses, corporations that are like, maybe we don't go back in there. Like Walmart's talking about, we might open up our stores in Chicago again. We'll see. Like 22 out of 25, I think, are currently closed. And they haven't decided if they're even going to open them back up yet.
Wow. Okay, well, I hope the Democrats are happy with themselves.
And then we'll spend the next generation of
hope you feel good about that.
Politicians saying, why don't you invest in urban centers? Why don't you come down to our communities? What's your
what are you
problem?
doing out in the suburbs? What are you, racist?
Well, I don't know. I'm old enough to remember the riots of 2020. Thank you very much. It's vicious.
Wow. All right. Through all of this, we can all continue to contribute to companies that support all of this crap. You know, the AT&Ts, Verizons of the world. Or you could switch to a cell phone company, Patriot Mobile, that shares your values. Their Patriot Mobile right now is lowering their prices even further to help you out. Right now, their U.S.-based team is standing by to design a customized family plan starting at just $25 a month for you. And they're not going to send your hard-earned money to Planned Parenthood or Black Lives Matter or whatever group that wants the complete and total transformation of America. Plus, you'll get the same reliable nationwide service. You'll support a company that shares your values and supports the Constitution. They make switching really easy. You can keep your phone, or you can buy a new one. You can keep your phone number, or you can get a new one. And right now, when you join their family of freedom-loving Americans, you'll get free activation and a free gift when you use the offer code PAT. 972-PATRIOT, 972-PATRIOT, or patriotmobile.com/Pat. That's patriotmobile.com/Pat.
Pat Gray, Unleashed.
We didn't even scratch the surface on this list of people that have been fired. But suffice it to say that dozens, at least dozens, have been fired. You know what this is a lot like? It's a lot like the opening moments of the Me Too movement, where like 400 men were accused of this all at once. And everybody just lost their job without anybody looking into it. This is the same sort of thing. Everybody's losing their job just by saying, in some instances, something innocuous. But if it's not exactly in lockstep with the fascists and their fascist movement right now, then you're done. Sorry, you're just done. In fact, we're not sorry. We're glad you're done because you're not in lockstep with us anymore. And then you are accused of being the fascist, which is fascinating to me. It's madness. It's a madhouse.
A madhouse!
I love that scene too, because he's been thrown into a little prison. He's locked up behind bars.
Oh, is it called 2020 America?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Quarantine time? No.
And he's like in a loincloth, and they're hosing, and apes are hosing him down. And he's like, what? How is this possible? This is a madhouse. And that's how I feel every single day.
Yeah.
Like we're being hosed down by apes.
I would say that the frequency of that audio clip has been happening more and more often, for sure.
It sure has. All right, 888-900-3393 and at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Taxed enough already tweets. If they're making me fear for my life or property, they're greasing my undercarriage.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So this is a response to yesterday. We had the video. I don't know if you want to reset it with the lady in traffic.
Yes, I do want to reset it.
Okay.
Yeah. Here's what happened yesterday in traffic. I mean, just a woman minding her own business driving down the street.
Do Black Lives matter to you? Do Black Lives matter to you? Do Black Lives matter, all right, Karen?
Instantly, she's berated.
Okay, you want to go, Karen?
This is so bizarre.
No!
Who do you think you are?
Is there a shortage of mental drugs right now?
No life matters! Black, white, yellow. That is not our fight. Until Black lives mean something to this country. No.
Screeching the whole time. Look, shut up. I don't answer to you. Get out of my face.
You ain't going nowhere, though.
You ain't going nowhere, though.
Yep.
Oh, okay. She's not going anywhere.
You're not going nowhere. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
Okay.
And as one of your viewers pointed out, the reason they show her license plate is so that all her little minions, all her equally mentally insane friends can dox her and find via the license plate, find who she is, because that's what we do now.
Gosh.
We find where you live.
So here's why you don't stop and discuss things with the protesters or the rioters. Remember this?
Reginald
Denny.
Yep.
Pulled from his semi-truck and beaten almost to death. I mean, the guy was severely beaten.
Oh, so bad.
That's why you don't break for protesters.
In fact, I found this article because I was like, I wonder how he's doing. Now, this is from several years back, but it talks about how the guy broke the cinder block over his head, if you recall that.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, that was... Because remember, the helicopter was flying over and the footage on TV?
Right.
So, Reginald Denny, he was dragged out of his big rig, took that cinder block to the skull, fracturing it in 91 places, his skull.
Oh, my gosh.
Severe brain damage. Okay. Remember, this is all because of the Rodney King verdict in 1992.
Mm-hmm.
Denny had to undergo years of rehabilitative therapy. His speech and ability to walk were permanently damaged. So once we think about Reginald Denny, we think, you know what? I'm going to put it in drive, and I'm going to go forward and deal with this stuff later.
Yeah. I don't want to wind up like that. Or dead. In fact, I'd probably rather wind up dead than have severe brain damage like that and live with that for the rest of my life. That is just really horrific. And yeah, that's why you don't break for protesters.
Unfortunately, she had the red light that she had, and she was stuck behind another car.
Mm-hmm.
But that light turns green. Green means go. That's what I was taught. I was public school.
That's right.
So, I mean, for what that's worth.
So it may not be right.
And then it was in Georgia.
Yeah.
So, again,
true.
That's the lesson I'm deciding to go with there.
888-900-3393. Also, Pat Unleashed on Twitter. That's right. I am. It's true. And I'm glad you're here with us. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. A guy, Herm, tweets, cancel White Castle's hamburgers. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
White Castle.
We let that one slip through for too long.
Way too long. You know, that started, we saw the founding date of that. It was, I think, 1948 or something. It's a long time. Maybe it was even before that. Gary Dorisak tweets, where is the governor of Washington on the Seattle disaster? Any response? Just wondering. Haven't seen a thing from him. I don't know. Maybe he's made a statement. I just haven't seen it. Social distancing tweets, should the Beatles be forced to change their name of their White Album?
Oh, well then.
Fortunately, here's the thing. That's not the name of the album.
I got it.
It's just what people call it.
Yeah.
But
still,
racists,
I still think
the racist among us call it that.
There we go. And I think that since people just call it that, I think Sir Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, they need to speak out. They need to say, they need to address this issue ASAP.
Yes, they do.
Right?
Yes, they do. Okay. This is not a White Album. There's something else. People just call it that. COVID Bullet 23. Don't the newest graduates of the Army Special Forces and Navy SEALs need some practice infiltrating enemy territory and taking down enemy insurgents? I suggest they invade the vegan Republic of Raz.
Got to stay sharp, right? Get in there, boys.
Yep. Just, I mean, it's insane. Take back the 6-block territory of Seattle that these thugs think they now own. No, you don't own it. No, you're not going to control the streets. No, we will not allow this kind of chaos, this kind of anarchy. Man, the Northwest is just between Portland and Seattle with the anarchy, with the Antifa stuff. Jeez.
Wait, the Northwest? How about just the Pacific Coast? Up and down. I mean,
yeah, pretty
California.
Much. California, too. And it's California's fault. It's Seattle and Portland are this way.
Yeah. And then the Californians went to Denver.
Right. In Utah.
Now they're going to Boise.
They've been to Utah. They're in Salt Lake City. Mm-hmm. Salt Lake City is now a pretty liberal town.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get out into the burbs before you have any kind of sense and sensibility there. It's a pretty liberal town. They were one of the first to have a mayor. Was it maybe it might have been Salt Lake County mayor? I think both the city and the county have mayors. But anyway, there was a lesbian mayor, and she was one of the first, I believe, in the country. Between Houston and Salt Lake City, two towns in which I've lived, were the first two cities to have lesbian mayors.
But the thing is, when you ruin your state, stop going other places
and ruining those states as well.
You got to stop.
But yeah, California's done that a really good job of ruining the entire West. Thank you.
Just a reminder, Oregon went for Reagan in '84.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, so
think of that.
I'm quickly going through these old.
Well, they almost Washington must have too, because 49 states did.
Yeah, they did. I'm just checking here to see how recent one of those states went. That's going to be as good as we're going to get.
Wow.
1984 is recent. Yeah,
that's amazing. Isn't that amazing? That's incredible.
Yeah. But, that's what happens. You flee your crappy state and you make other states crappy. Before you know it, you got a lot of electoral votes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And they do. All right. So let's just have some fun with we were talking the other day about the sign language people and how flamboyant they are with their signing. And how it doesn't look real because they're so animated about it. And then we were told, well, it's kind of like speaking in monotone. That's why they do it that way, because then it's
You
more...
want to be demonstrative, right?
Yes.
You want to come across very clearly.
Yes. Well, here's somebody who's very, very demonstrative.
So video of a fake sign language interpreter
the black lady
in Florida
on the left.
is now
Look at her
going
getting her hands
viral.
ready. She's
Derlin
getting
Roberts
ready.
stood in front of
There we
Tampa
go.
Police Chief Brian Dugan during a news conference announcing the arrest of a suspected serial killer. Well, people who are hard of hearing say Roberts was hard to understand because she was not signing accurately. Chief Dugan says Roberts showed up to offer her help, so he accepted.
Why do people do this?
Now, police say this was not a crime, but an ethical violation. Roberts does have several fraud arrests on her record.
That is awesome. Need some help? I can
come in and sign for you.
I can sign. I love how she has to do her pregame exercises with her hands and her wrists.
Why would you want to do that? I don't understand the thrill there of, hey, I can be your fake sign language person.
And there were 5 mugshots of her on the screen there from her fraud convictions. So fun.
Oh, man.
There you go.
That's great.
So when you say, why is so-and-so speaking gibberish, that lady was literally speaking gibberish.
Yes. 888-900-3393. Also, we got this old guy who called up he was from Delaware, called up C-SPAN, and claimed that he knew Joe Biden back when they were both in their 20s. Here's what he said about Joe.
That's my statement. Oh, and in closing, I'd like to say I'm originally from Delaware, and I've had confrontation with Joe Biden back in 1963 when we were both 20. He's a punk then, and he's a punk now.
Did they cut him off?
Yeah. The guy goes, all right, I guess we're done there. Okay, now bye-bye. He's a punk then, and he's a punk now. Joe Biden, everybody.
That's good stuff. Why'd you cut that off? Maybe they didn't believe that he knew Biden. Maybe they didn't.
Well, they don't want him to look bad.
Yeah, well, of course that. Yeah, there is that.
Oh, I didn't even clean my whiteboard today. That's our phrase.
What's the matter with you?
That's our phrase of the day right there. He's a punk then, and he's a punk now. Biden 2020.
888-900-3393. We've seen Dr. Tony Fauci in the last couple of days. We have had Fauci sightings. He is still around. He has not left the planet. And he is warning us about the whole COVID spike in 21 states now. We got the COVID spike. I wonder why. He kind of explains why.
Well, what runs through my mind is what does every time I hear about or see the congregation of large crowds at a time and in an area, a geographic area where clearly there is active infection transmission. It's a perfect setup for further spread of the virus in the sense of creating these blips which might turn into some surges. So I get very concerned.
You think? I don't think we needed Dr. Fauci to tell us that. A brainless, mindless buffoon could have, like a brain-damaged gerbil could have noodled that one out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I heard from that is Dr. Fauci's a racist, and he doesn't want people gathering for Black Lives Mattering. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. Why don't you want people expressing themselves, Dr. Fauci? Maybe you won't be such a star with the left after saying that. But of course, there's going to be a spike in COVID cases. Everybody who looked at those protests realized you're not social distancing there, and I don't think the masks are going to protect you. Because here's the thing. The masks don't protect you. They're mostly symbolic. So good luck. And now here we are. We're getting spikes again in 21 states, including Arizona, Arkansas, and Utah. Texas. I hate to see what's going to happen in New York now. They're even opening New York back up, and they've had all these protests. In Los Angeles, we showed you that boulevard. I don't know if that was, might have been Hollywood Boulevard. It's got to be. There were wall-to-wall people all the way down it. I mean, it had to be a 2-mile, 3-mile stretch, and it was just a sea of humanity. Are you telling me nobody's going to spread that through that crowd? Come on. There it is. Look at that. That is a COVID-19 factory right there. We're manufacturing COVID-19 right there. So don't come crying to me and telling me that, we got to go back into quarantine now because we've had a real shut up. We told you shouldn't be allowing these gatherings, or you should be not encouraging them, certainly. You certainly shouldn't be encouraging people to get out and protest in streets and tear businesses apart. But no, it was too important. Racism is a bigger disease. Oh, okay, well, then don't worry about the COVID that these people are going to have. Yeah. So be it. Okay, they all got COVID. Oh, well, they were fighting a worse disease, racism. Yep. Right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how many people die now. According to the freaking Democrats, it doesn't matter how many people die because it was worth the effort. It was worth it because we were fighting the disease of racism, a much more endemic and pervasive disease that has lasted far longer than COVID-19.
And it affects disproportionately African Americans, higher rates.
Almost entirely.
So
yes, that's a good point too. Keith, thank you.
Doctor. That's Dr. Keith?
Dr. Melanak.
Yeah, Keith's better.
Dr. Keith? You like Dr. Keith better?
I think it flows a little better there.
All right.
Yeah. So anyway, it's I mean, here we are.
Here we are.
Another day that makes no sense whatsoever.
2.5, 3 weeks later, yep, it's spreading again. We were cutting it back. We had flattened the curve. We'd done all those things they told us in the first place we had to do. And then you encouraged everyone to get out and do that. And so they did.
And by the way, if there's this, fall resurgence of COVID-19.
I don't care. We're still having football.
Well, not only that, but nice try on the lockdown. You're going to try that again?
No.
Really going to try that again?
I mean, they can try it again, but I'm not doing it.
No.
I'm not doing it.
Nope.
I did that. Well, sort of.
No, you didn't.
We pretty much came to work every single day the whole time.
Pretty much, yeah.
We're the only ones, I think. Are we the only ones? Us and Stu. But, I mean, as far as in the broader media, all the people on TV, all were broadcasting from home. All the late-night talk show hosts, all of the media guys. Cuomo's doing it from his house. Lemon, I think, was at his house. They all went home.
Yeah. And of course, in retrospect, you brought the COVID to us, and we powered through.
Right. I brought the COVID to you?
Yeah.
Did I? That's what they thought, I think, right? When I got sick that one day.
Then you even went back and you're like, maybe.
I hope I had it. I'd love to have had it already.
You should go get tested to see if you have the antibodies in you.
I'm going to. Eventually I will. Eventually I will. When it dies down a little bit and the tests aren't as critical, I'm going to go see if I have the antibodies.
Yeah.
Because I felt like crap for a while.
Yeah, so
but I never had a fever, so I don't know if that's...
street cred then.
I don't know if that eliminates it. 888-930. Yeah, and street cred.
Right? You can be like, I survived COVID.
Yeah, I had it. I had it. It's kind of a badge of honor as long as you survive it, right?
And you know how many minutes of work I missed? Zero.
None.
Actually, you did leave halfway through one show.
I missed a show and a half.
But other than that,
I was here the
tough
whole
as
time.
nails.
All right, here's something you may or may not know about your dog's food. The dry kibble stuff. It's baked to a crisp. So it's actually sterilized because it has to last on the shelf for so long, like up to 3 years. And so all the live nutrients in it are all burned out. That's where Rough Greens VitaSmart comes in. That's not a dog food. It's a powder that you sprinkle on the food. It's a really healthy supplement. You mix it in. Your dog won't even know that it's really good for your dog. It's like vegetables to your kids. Shh, don't tell your dog it's good for them because they just think it tastes good. So you'll be tricking your dog, but that's okay. It's all right. They won't know any better. It's got vitamins in it, minerals, digestive enzymes, probiotics, even omega oils and antioxidants. So it's really good for them. Helps their digestive system, gives them all kinds of energy. They're going to act like a puppy again. And if you don't believe it, just take the Rough Greens 14-day Jumpstart Challenge. It's just $14.95, and you will see the difference in your dog in 14 days or less. If you want to see your dog thrive again, go to roughgreens.com/blaze, ruffgreens.com/blaze. With some tweets. Marco tweets, love you guys. Make me laugh throughout this insanity. Yeah, that's our goal. Thank you. I hope so. Just trying to make the apocalypse fun. You know, that's all we're trying to do here.
Right.
I mean, there's not much we can do about the apocalypse except make it fun. As we listen to the clippity-clop of the four horsemen of the apocalypse galloping through town.
Okay.
Yeah. Scotty Sweatman, that video of that shoe store is heart-wrenching. They're going to have to start selling work boots just to keep that from happening again.
Gosh.
Yeah, I saw some kind of feature on those guys and the custom shoes that they do. Amazing work, amazing stuff, all handmade, really cool stuff. Anyway, it is heartbreaking. Poppycock tweets, if I break into a gym to just work out, I'll be arrested. But if I break into loot and set it on fire as I leave, I'm justified.
Right.
America 2020.
Yeah, there's someone who has updated the laws in their mind, and you're accurate now. I've seen your hernia. I love this tweet. Hey, Pat, if you get tested and it turns out you have the coronavirus antibodies, I suggest a new shirt for the Blaze Media Shop. Screw the Fauci. I rode the Rona. That's good.
I like that.
I like that, too.
I like it. All right, 888-900-3393. Yesterday on The View, they were talking about Colin Kaepernick, and is he justified? And they went to Sunny Hostin. I think it's Hostin, Hurston. Sunny Hostin had this to say about Colin and, the wonder that is Colin Kaepernick.
Well, I think he's not only owed an apology, Whoopi. I think he's owed his job. I think he's owed back pay, and I think he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize.
Wait a minute. Why don't we also put him on a pedestal and worship him? Should we do that? Can we get that done too?
Oh, we already got that done.
All right, because that's pretty much what's happening right now.
I think what's fascinating about it is
an Academy Award. Anybody mention that, or a Grammy? Why didn't he have those? Why didn't he have a Grammy and an Academy? Give him a Tony, too. I think he drove by Broadway once.
Oh.
So give him a Tony.
When you listen to Roger Goodell's
Has anybody anointed him an Eagle Scout yet? Do we have an Eagle Scout certificate that we can give him? I just want him to have every award on the planet. Does he have an Eagle Scout award yet?
Culpa. He mentions...
Is he a PhD? Can we give him a PhD in peace? Please? Can we? Let's make him a doctor, too. Let's just make him a doctor, an honorary doctor, but one who can actually perform surgery. Can we do that? All right.
Everything. He says we were wrong. We should have listened. Athletes in the league are now allowed to take a knee. We support peaceful protest. He mentions every single thing except the very name of the man who started the protest. Who started this peaceful protest. Taking the knee has become the symbol of these protests.
True enough.
We see it just all over our country. We see it actually internationally now.
Yes,
and
we
I think it's shameful that people were allowed to co-opt that movement and make it about the flag and make it something that it was never about.
Okay.
Oh, no. Everyone, okay, there's been a lot of discussion on Twitter lately about Angry Pat. Okay?
Yeah.
So add this to the list of signs that Pat is about to lose his mind on the air. When he has to stop himself and say, okay, go ahead and prepare.
Could these worshipers of Colin Kaepernick, please, for the love of heaven, by all that is good, right, and holy, listen to the words that come out of his mouth. Please. It is about the flag. How do I know that? He said it is.
But wait a minute. It's not like he said it.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly like he said it.
I mean, if it were like he said it,
yeah, I
then
know.
I could understand your point.
Yeah, that is my point. He said it. He, Colin Kaepernick himself, the Grinch, said it. Okay? All right. Oh, man. He didn't carve the roast beast, but he himself, the Kaepernick, said it. Do we have that now? Somebody send this to Sunny Hostin, please, along with the exact quote that spilled out of his face. That would be great. That would be nice. So give him his job back. I mean, he was offered jobs in the NFL. That's another thing, okay? It's not like he's been blackballed from the NFL. The guy doesn't even want to play. He had an opportunity again last year to show up and show he could do the job. 26 NFL scouts showed up to watch him. What did he do? At the very last minute, so that nobody could really, well, very few would ever see him, he changed the venue and did it 50 or 60 miles away. It was an hour drive away.
Yeah.
In Atlanta. Was it last summer?
Yeah.
Last spring?
Yeah. So the training facility for the Falcons, where they invited everyone to come and visit, is about an hour away from the airport, give or take. So when he moved it to a high school down near the airport, that's where all these teams were like, oh, crap, we got to, okay, I guess since it's...
And a couple of them got in their cars and drove up.
Yep.
That's how hated he is in the NFL. Even after he changed it, even after he ruined the whole event, they still went up there and watched him.
But you're right, though. He doesn't want his job back.
He doesn't want to play.
And remember, and I know it's in the archives somewhere. I doubt we can find it. But a long time ago, when he pulled this stunt,
right?
You remember Stephen A. Smith went on and started a little Instagram video. And he was
wasn't Smith an ally at first?
Yeah, he said, you don't want to play. You want to be a martyr. That's what you want.
And that's exactly right.
Stephen A. Smith hit a home run.
Not only that, but the Seahawks have offered him a job. I think it was the Dolphins.
No, Broncos.
Okay, Seahawks, Broncos.
Maybe it was somebody else.
And somebody else. It might have been the Dolphins. Okay. I don't know. There were three teams.
Yeah.
And he said no to all of them. He doesn't want to play. Whether he's tired of his body being, beaten up or whatever it is, I don't know. But the guy's not going to play in the NFL again.
Yeah, and then, of course, at George Floyd's funeral, Al Sharpton...
Yes,
took advantage of that platform to make an NFL Colin Kaepernick issue anew, and he said the same thing that she said.
Colin Caper Stick, Colin, the Superman Caping Nick. Colin needs his job back. Well, don't apologize. Give him his job back. Don't come with some empty apology. Take a man's livelihood.
Wait.
Strip a man down of his talents.
Talents?
And 4 years later, when the whole world is marching, all of a sudden you go and do a FaceTime? And why wasn't traffic problems email sent?
And what was that word again, Reverend? Talents? Take your...
Talents! Talents!
He's offering an apology? Oh.
Oh, boy. All right. He doesn't want to play, okay?
Pat Gray.
She's right. I am. I don't know what her point was exactly, but she's right about that.
Oh, no. You got 30 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
You doing okay?
Uh-huh.
Because this is it's a tough world to talk about, huh?
You know what'd be good, though? And make everything better in your world? A really delicious cookie. Like a gourmet cookie.
Oh. Oh,
And I
particular cookie?
just happened to be able to recommend a place where you can go.
Oh, do tell.
And get some incredible cookies.
I've been looking for a cookie that is particularly, what's the word, scrumptious.
Yes, you found it.
That's what I'm looking for.
It's scrumptiouscookie.com. Leave off the last S for savings. It's scrumptiouscookie.com.
And just remember, as you're trying to remember the website, there's one cookie out there with your name on it, and it's sold at scrumptiouscookie.com.
Thank you. Exactly right. Some tweets here. Lone Wolf tweets, is Pat really glad we're here, or is he just making small talk? No, I'm legitimately glad.
Aww.
Legitimately glad you're here. A Navy aviator just goes to show you liberal leftist progressivism is a virus. It spreads from state to state, ruining lives. Stop the spread. Microaggressor. Fun fact. Minnesota was the only state that Reagan did not win in 84. Also, Minnesota was the only state that did not sell out the Beatles.
Oh,
Those
wow.
are two interesting fun facts.
Minnesota. Huh. What's your deal?
COVID Bullet 23. Keith, the audacity for you to claim you didn't clean your whiteboard.
Oh, sorry.
It's a dry erase board, you racist. It's a pretty good point, actually.
I'll try to do better.
Also, we got Kara 3022. Remember when Harry Reid in the New York Times called us Tea Party members a group of anarchists? Amazing how Dems and the media embrace and encourage actual evil anarchists. Yeah, and all the violence that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be that just saying the word target, like we target this district, for elections, that was akin to genocide.
Mm-hmm.
You've essentially painted a target on someone's face and asked others to shoot at them. It's so ridiculous.
And now they're actually shooting,
yeah,
but they're not violent.
Wow. Non-scriber1 tweets, Weatherman, there is no other person who could be as wrong and as often as me and still keep his job. Fauci, hold my mask.
No kidding.
Sean Perry, 2020 is like a person with ADHD, on cocaine and Red Bull. Yeah, pretty much. The Steve 42, Steve 42. 2020 is a year that satire just started writing itself. Yeah, and it became non-satire anymore. It's just actual fact. Just plain actual fact now. The MLS, we were talking about kneeling and the whole NFL and Colin Kaepernick stuff, nightmare. MLS just released a statement that players don't have to stand for the anthem anymore. I guess they can do what they want. They can urinate while the thing is playing.
I mean, I figured we'd get to that eventually. I thought we'd maybe, warm up by talking about maybe they could run laps around the stadium.
Just zip it down and urinate right there during the national anthem, whatever. So that's your breaking news right there.
Wow. So,
thank you, soccer.
I mean, that's soccer for you anyway.
Yeah, it's a commie sport anyway, whatever.
I mean, what else do you expect?
Plus, NASCAR has banned the Confederate flag from its races and venues, which is good because how many people that flag has killed?
How many?
None. The actual flag has killed none. Nobody. Nothing and no one. But it has hurt feelings, I guess.
See?
Yeah. Now, somebody in NASCAR, as part of their, and I don't know the drivers in NASCAR, maybe Rob can jump in here, but one of the drivers in the truck series just said he's going to quit NASCAR at the end of the season because of this ban. And it's kind of interesting because he said, I'm looking for the story because I really should read his actual quote. It's pretty good. I mean, he made some serious sense on this. He's like, what he said was, I could care less about the Confederate flag. Which, of course, is a stupid thing to say because what you're trying to say is that you couldn't care less.
Yeah.
If you could care less, that, of course, means that you care a certain amount.
Ray Ciccarelli?
Yes.
And
or Ciccarelli or whatever.
How do you pronounce it, sir?
Do you have the quotes there?
All you are doing is effing one group.
Yeah, over the other. And what you're doing is you're trying to alienate all the people who, for whatever reason, enjoy the Confederate flag because they still have pride in the South. And it's not necessary. I don't think for most people it's a racist thing. I don't know because I'm not part of the Confederate flag waivers. I, for one, am happy the Union won.
That's a good side to be on.
Yeah, I think it is, really.
Yeah.
But he said, you're just screwing our fans now.
Yeah.
And they've already banned the cars from having it or any of the official NASCAR things. But the fans could bring it if they wanted to, I guess, and now they can't. And so he says, I can't go with that.
Yeah. I just, whatever. I mean, it's just, I grew up in the South, and it was everywhere, and I just didn't think anything of it, quite honestly. But it was also the Georgia State flag when I was a kid growing up.
Oh, yeah.
And I always thought I did think that was weird. And I thought, why do we have the symbol of a previous government? You know, we don't have the British flag on the Georgia State flag or the, Cherokee Nation or anything like that. So that was the perspective I had. But as far as, but I'm not black either, so I don't have that perspective.
But when you think back to, say, Dukes of Hazzard in the 70s, were those guys racist? No, they were just good old, the song said good old Southern boys.
No, they were just the good old boys.
Yeah.
Never meaning no harm.
Thank you. That's right. That's exactly who and what they were.
I mean, they've been running from the law.
Since the day they were born? Yeah, I doubt they ran the day they were born. That's a stinking lie. That's a lie.
Huh. Really?
The rest of it, I think, is true.
Well,
I never thought of them as, hey, in your face minorities.
No, they were just trying to, making their way.
They were just proud of the South.
Any way they know how. I mean, it was just a little bit more than the law would allow.
Wow, you know way too much of that song.
Friday nights, CBS, Nana and Papa's House. That was my jam.
All right, good.
By the way,
one of the worst shows ever on television.
Oh my goodness, sir!
But
now he's encroaching on my Southern sensibilities.
Were they from Georgia? Is that where they were? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's where they filmed it. I think it was. Yeah. Anyhow, but we do have the. If you want to see the Stephen A. Smith rant on
Colin Kaepernick,
a nice little portion of that. We could
3 hours before the workout. Because of some issue with a liability waiver. Colin Kaepernick wants to change the venue. Colin Kaepernick wants his own receivers. Colin Kaepernick wants to video things himself. Colin Kaepernick wants the media. This Colin Kaepernick, media can't find him. He ain't done no interviews. He ain't talked to nobody. Media can't find him, but he wants to do it. He wants the media available now. You see, he don't want to play.
Thank you.
He wants to be a martyr.
Boom.
Indeed.
Mic drop, Stephen A. Smith.
Booyah. It's incredible, this whole Kaepernick thing. And the resulting nightmare of all of the offshoots on it. Now, Clemson's head coach, Dabo Swinney, is under attack. Now, I'm not a big fan of Swinney. I think to me, he seems like a pseudo-humble egomaniac.
Gosh,
but
disagree,
whatever.
But okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
I mean, people are out to get him, apparently, now. A bunch of Clemson athletes and people associated with the Tigers have come to his defense, though, at a time when some are looking to take him down. Members of the media scrutinized the statements of Swinney and Clemson during the week in response to the protests. There's also an allegation from a former player who claims Swinney used the N-word when repeating song lyrics. I'm sorry. If you're singing a song and it's in the rap song, come on now. That's what I'm saying about context. So the word was uttered, but somebody else, you're just singing along with it. This happened with the girls' basketball team a while ago. Remember that? A couple years ago, they were in the bus, and they were all singing to the rap song, and that word was in the rap song, and they sang it, and oh, the humanity.
I mean, context does not matter.
Not in this case.
And you are judged by the color of your skin 50, 60 years removed from the speech that was given by Martin Luther King. Now you're judged just to be a bad person if you're white and singing those lyrics in context.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, man.
It's asinine. But one of the players wrote, kind of feel bad for talking about Dabo, but I was told by multiple people he talked S about me in a team meeting the year after I was no longer on the team.
Oh, no.
Some other players who were there said, no, he didn't. But, of course, in this environment, if anybody accuses you of anything along these lines, look out. They're coming for you. And this guy is a guy whose teams have won, 2 of the last 4 national championships? It doesn't get much more successful. So you think he's an actual, humble, lovable, shoe-shine boy of a coach?
I do, because I remember when he was hired at Clemson.
He rubs me the wrong way.
I've been gathering that.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, is it because he's a winner?
No, I like winners, but I don't like him.
Okay.
I don't like Clemson.
What? Wait.
I don't know why.
Did you not like Clemson 10 years ago, 12 years ago, before he was hired there?
No, I didn't like him then either. But
you didn't like him?
I like them less now because they're obnoxious to me.
They're
more
orange?
almost as obnoxious as Alabama is.
Oh, Alabama's just
obnoxious.
Just
obnoxious.
Nick Saban. I can't.
So maybe that's what it is about Dabo, Dubo. Maybe that's what it is.
Dabo.
I don't know.
Yeah. You know how he got that nickname, right?
Dabo?
Yeah.
No.
I guess his. I know Clemson fans will tell me if I'm wrong. That's why you have Twitter at Keith Malinak. Good luck spelling it. So his brother, I guess, when he would refer to him when they were kids, I think he was trying to say that boy or whatever, and so the way the kid,
came out Dabo?
Yeah, Dabo is my brother. Yeah,
cute. That's
so adorable. There you go. So now he's Dabo.
Not adorable. Now he's a 45-year-old man.
Yeah.
And I still call him the same thing.
I wonder if his brother learned how to pronounce stuff. What a dummy! Wow.
You should have had him checked in the first place.
Sure, should have. Could have
avoided all of
headed
this.
off a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
and then we wouldn't be calling
a grown man.
I wonder I don't even know what his first name is, man. Let's see. What is his real first name? Christopher. William Christopher Dabo Swinney.
There's a UK company that just created a cardboard box for the post-coronavirus office. So I guess you have a cardboard box, and it spreads out.
Okay, so there they are making it.
We're showing the making
wow,
of it.
Look, it's like a Mr. Rogers tour, behind the scenes when you go on a field trip with him. Okay, here we go. Okay, so these workers.
This is the finished
they're
product.
Serious. Look, everyone's wearing a mask. Here we go. We're gonna literally install it onto the desk like this.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right, and then you've got plastic cutouts in the middle of it. So if anybody sneezes, of course, that's a really short person. It's protecting you from.
I was going to say, everybody should just be in a tent because does the virus know not to go above the cardboard? Is it like, we're just going to chill down here behind the...
Yes.
I want one of those, but I don't want windows around it,
And I want one, where you can't see inside.
Yeah.
And it stretches up about 12 feet. Then like a cubicle sort of thing.
Oh, like a cubicle. Oh, you mean they've got those?
Or like an actual office with walls.
I remember.
How about that?
I remember there was a time when I worked in South Carolina where I had a cubicle and I put like a wall of a cubicle on top. So I had like a completely enclosed little cave. It's pretty fun. But I mean, we weren't trying to stop pandemics back then.
Right.
Put some Christmas lights in there. Mm-hmm. It's fun stuff.
It's great.
Yeah.
Also, yesterday, UK's leader, Boris Johnson.
A survivor, just like you.
A survivor, just like, yes. A survivor of the Rona. Had some alterations to the lockdown that he's come out with. This is very exciting stuff. Here's what Brits can now do.
Okay.
So from this weekend, we will allow single adult households, so adults living alone, or single parents with children under 18, to form a support bubble. A support bubble with one other household.
Support bubble. Okay.
All those in a support bubble will be able to act as if they live in the same household, meaning they can spend time together inside each other's homes and do not need to stay 2 meters apart.
2 meters.
I want to stress that support bubbles must be exclusive, meaning you can't switch the household you are in a bubble with or connect with multiple households.
Hold on. Let's follow this.
I'm trying.
If any member of the support bubble develops symptoms,
right,
all members of the bubble will need to follow the normal advice on household isolation. We're making this change to support those who are particularly lonely as a result of lockdown.
Now you
It's
don't
a
have to. That's
targeted intervention to limit the most harmful effects of the current social restrictions.
All right, pause it for a second. I'm trying to get this straight. So we can finally get back to support bubbling, right? We're support bubbling now. But you must remain monogamous to your support bubble.
Yeah.
Do not engage in multiple support bubbles.
No.
As that's against the support bubbling laws that we've now worked out for centuries. The support bubble laws that Great Britain had because of the Magna Carta in 1312.
And this whole 2 meters thing, like we have a round number here. We're like, it's 6 feet apart. Well, 2 meters is about 6.56 feet apart. So I guess it just wasn't.
It's a little bit further in Britain.
Yeah, so that's not cool. But
I remember though when the Polish people became really careless back in 1939 and started group support bubbles. Do you remember that? Touching off the German invasion.
Is that
and
what
World
it
War
was?
II. Yeah. The Germans were so pissed that they had group support bubbles. They couldn't abide it, and they attacked them.
Wait, that's what started.
That's what kicked off World War II. Yeah.
World War II.
Group support bubbles.
Why were they?
Because they were not following support bubbling
But why
rules.
did they have to have a support bubble rule in the first place in 1939?
I'm not going to play your dumb game of.
I'm learning history on the fly here,
Total
man.
Ignorance.
Wow. I just don't remember the global pandemic of 39.
All right. Was there more Boris had to say about support bubbles? Support.
The most harmful effects of the current social restrictions. It is emphatically not designed for people who don't qualify to start meeting inside other people's homes because that remains against the law.
By the way, there's no law that says you can't go to somebody else's
advise anyone who is shielded
There's an order
to form a support bubble at this stage, given their particular vulnerability to the virus. However, I want to say I know how hard it is for those of you who are shielding, and we will say more next week about the arrangements that will be in place for you beyond the end of June.
Stay tuned.
Is it my ignorance showing again? I don't. What is shielding?
Is that
what does
like
that mean? Is that your
quarantine? Maybe.
Are they calling quarantine shielding?
I don't know.
In Great Britain?
The Brits screw every word up.
Wow.
Right?
I guess so. Yeah.
Let's see.
It probably is just the quarantine shielding. Support bubbles. So
shielding is the word used to describe how to protect those at the highest risk. Blah blah blah.
All right. So in Britain, you couldn't go from house to house. Like for instance, parents living in their house, adult children living in their house, they couldn't visit each other, right?
That's my understanding.
Okay. I don't think we ever got to that level. If we did, I didn't practice it because we went between houses all the time.
Remember, in Michigan...
in Michigan, that's
Frau
right.
Whitmer was like, you can't even
travel
go from
between your own
homes.
That's right.
Back off
That's
you.
right.
But I mean, the phrases we're getting out of this year. We've got support bubble, social distancing. What are some? I guarantee you, there's a list out there of all the new phrases and stuff.
Definitely.
New phrase. I don't know. We'll find it, and it just. Oh my goodness! Here's
support bubbles. Support bubbles. That is ridiculous.
And then his explanation. Oh, so crystal clear.
It's just
thank you.
That easy to understand. Yes.
If the explanation of how to beat the pandemic takes longer than for the pandemic to run its course,
yeah, maybe
you might want a different solution.
Maybe you might want to simplify things a little bit.
Wow.
Okay. Well, fortunately, we've not heard of support bubbles in this nation. We've never been support bubbling here, and apparently That's a big deal.
Oh, just wait until some particular governors, find out about that. And we've got the spike.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Right.
Here comes support bubbles USA. Wow. Each day gets more ridiculous than the day before.
Absolutely. Pathead Jesse Orsino sent this our way. I've been giving this a lot of thought since Keith Ellison added the charge against Chauvin.
Oh, up in Minnesota. Mm-hmm.
Officer Chauvin, who killed George Floyd, of murder 2. I can't seem to shake the feeling that the murder 2 charge is a big reach and that Ellison and his cohorts know it. And in fact, they're counting on that charge not sticking. Imagine what the cities and political climate would look like if the murder 2 charge was overturned or came back not guilty, and all that he was found guilty of was murder 3 or manslaughter. Very unsettling. State and local level judicial systems are very capable of playing political games. That's entirely possible with a guy like Keith Ellison.
Interesting
where
thought.
He's hoping that there's a not guilty verdict, and then all hell would break loose in Minneapolis.
So 3rd degree in Minnesota is unintentional, correct? You killed him unintentionally.
I have the rules.
And
here
then
somewhere.
2nd degree would be intentional.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So if
3rd degree is the type of murder that's not intentional and therefore not as severely punished as 1st and some 2nd degree killings. 2nd degree murder is an intentional killing, but is less serious, obviously, than 1st degree, which would mean that you planned it. So you have to intend to. It's going to be hard to prove he intended to kill George Floyd, I would think. Wouldn't that be difficult?
Yeah. Boy.
I don't know. I mean, you do see him kind of grind his knee into his neck at certain points, and they don't check on him to see if he's okay. They don't feel for a pulse. They don't give him a moment by getting off of him for a second and see if he'd be okay.
I want to see if there's anything did they know each other?
Apparently they did. Yeah, apparently they butted heads at a bar a few times.
Well, because they worked together, right?
I'm not sure if they worked together or if
one worked inside, one worked outside, but I don't know how often they cross paths. But if you can establish something from that past relationship, I don't know.
Maybe there was some animosity to begin with.
If it's to use the phrase again, Overton window, if you hype the crowd and say, hey, he could go away for life, and he ends up getting
nothing,
years or whatever,
or
nothing.
Yeah, bad.
Oh boy.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow if we can break out of our support bubbles.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.